Exercise 3.1. The start of a new section, and this is about algebra. Algebra is about working out unknown quantities. Now, for example, say you had 3 plus some number. Let's use a triangle to represent the number. 3 plus some number is 10. Then you could probably, just by thinking about it, go, that some number is, the unknown quantity there is 7. I was a bit slow. Now, instead of using triangles and squares and stuff to represent the unknown quantity, we use letters. Often we use X or Y or A. Let's put a letter A. So 3 plus A equals 10. Now, A just means a number that we're trying to work out, okay, the unknown number. And so therefore A will equal 7. Now look, say you had something a little bit more complicated. Say you had like 6 times A, which is some unknown number, plus 3 times B, which is another unknown number, take away 4, okay, equals 2AB, take C plus 7. Now this looks quite complicated, doesn't it? You go, right, there's 3 unknown quantities here, A, B, and C. And they could be different numbers, or they could be the same number. They could all be the number 3, but probably not very likely. So these are letters. These letters are numbers we're trying to work out. Now, you need to know a few definitions in algebra. Each of these things here is called a term. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms in this expression here. Now, in actual fact, say we had, get rid of that equal sign, say we just had that. There was no equal sign in there. It was just all these terms here added and subtracted. Now, if there's no equal sign, then we call this thing an expression. So at the moment, because there's no equal sign in there, we say it's an expression. However, if we get rid of that plus and put an equal sign, so we say 6A plus 3B take 4 equals 2A plus take C plus 7, it's no longer an expression, it's now called an equation. So an equation is when you've got a sentence like this written down with all these terms that's got an equal sign somewhere in it, okay? Another thing you need to know is, see where you've got these unknown quantities here, where you've got these letters, okay? There's some more here. The number in front, so the number in front, let's change my pen colour to, say, red. This number in front is called the coefficient. So the coefficient of A in this equation is 6. The coefficient of B in this equation is 3. The coefficient of AB, the AB term in this equation, the coefficient is 2. So the coefficient is simply the number that's in front of the letter. Now this one here, the coefficient here is a 1, is the coefficient. If there's no number there, then that means 1 times C, okay? Now what I'd like you to do is have a go at number 1 on exercise 3.1. So do that and then watch some more of the video. All right, let's go on then and have a look at the next thing we've got to learn. And that is algebraic conventions. Now look, say you had this, you had some unknown quantity t, and you're multiplying it by m, and you're multiplying that by 6, and then you're going to multiply that by m again, and then you're going to divide it by 5. And you want to write this the proper way, according to conventions. Well, first thing of all, you don't have divide symbols in proper algebraic expressions. So you get rid of that divide and you redraw it t times m times 6 times m, and you get rid of the divide and you replace it with a fraction line. Okay, so you don't have divide symbols. And then you remove all the multiplication signs, and you should always have the number at the front. So you bring the number to the front, so the coefficient always has to go to the front, that's the number, and then you write the letters again, and you get rid of the multiplication. So you bring the number to the front, let's get rid of all the multiplication signs, because they look like x's. That could be an x there, it's a bit confusing. So it'll be 6t m times m over 5. So with algebra, you don't put multiplication signs. If you've just got letters, okay, or numbers, okay, sitting next to each other, then you don't show multiplication signs. By the way, letters we give a special name, we call them pronumerals. Okay, so if I ever use the term pronumerals, that means letters like T, M, etc. Now, m times m is actually m squared. So you can replace the m times m with m squared. So that'll be this equation up here, rewritten in simplified in normal algebraic convention. So you don't have divide symbols, you don't have multiplication symbols, and the number always goes at the front. And if you've got two letters that are the same multiplied together, then you put squared. Now, obviously, if you had m times m times m times m, that would equal m to the power 4. Okay? Now, you should be able to do, I think you should be able to do number 2. So have a go at number 2 in exercise 3.1. Now I'm just going to explain the worked example on page 145 of your text, up the top, page 145, worked example number 3. So if you've got your textbook, open it up. Pete has B blue pens and R red pens. So we're trying to work out how many blue pens he's got and how many red pens he's got. Sue has 3 times as many blue pens as Pete. She has 2 fewer red ones than Pete. So let's go through this step by step. Okay, so this is the worked example for A. Write an expression for the number of pens that Pete's got altogether. Now Pete's got B number of blue pens and R number of red pens. So the total number of pens he's got is going to be the number of blue pens he's got, which is B, plus the number of red pens he's got, which is R. Because they tell you in the example, use B as the number of blue pens and R as the number of red pens. So that's the answer for part A. For part B, if Pete's got 16 pens to start with, write an equation to show this information. Now, equation has got an equal sign. So in other words, the total number of pens that Peter's got is actually 16. So that means the number of blue pens plus the number of red pens equals 16. So there we go. There's an equation that shows that. Look at number C. Write an expression for the number of blue pens Sue has. Now let's read the question. Sue has 3 times as many blue pens as Pete. So how many blue pens has Pete got? Well, the number of blue pens Pete's got is B. But Sue's got 3 times as many as Pete. So she's got 3 times B. We don't show the times. We just put 3 next to B. So Sue has got 3B blue pens, okay, which is 3 times the number of blue pens that Pete's got. Let's look at D. Write an expression for the number of red pens that Sue has. Well, if you read the question at the top of page, the worked example at the top of page 145, she has 2 fewer red pens than Pete. Now, Pete's got R number of red pens. The example says let R be the number of pens that Pete's got. So Pete's got R red pens. Sue's got 2 less. So Sue's got R minus 2 red pens. Okay? E. If Sue has 28 pens altogether, write an equation to show this information. So Sue has a total of 28 pens. Okay? And Sue's pens consist of the blue ones and the red ones. So, how many blue pens has Sue got? Well, Sue's got 3B blue pens. And how many red pens has she got? Well, the number of red pens she's got is here. It's going to be, so the total number of pens she's got is going to be the blue ones plus the number of red ones she got. How many red ones she got? She's got R minus 2. So there's an expression, an equation, because it's got an equal sign in it. These are expressions. That's an expression here. That's an expression. That's an expression. These are equations because these have got equal signs in them. So for E, this is an equation for the total number of pens that Sue's got. Okay, let's look at F. If Pete loses 4 of his pens, so Pete loses 4 of his pens, write an expression in terms of B and R to show how many pens Pete now has. Right. Well, the total number of pens that Pete's got is the number of blue ones he's got plus the number of red ones he's got. So the total number of pens that Pete's got is B plus R. But he's lost 4 pens. So all you do is take away 4. Okay, so he started off with B plus R pens, but he's lost 4, so you take away 4. That's the expression for the number of pens that Pete would have after he's lost 4. Now, what I want you to have a go at, number 3, and then you can start working through the rest of the exercise. By the way, forget the colours. I just want you to just start working through all the questions. Forget the green and the purple and yellow. Do them all, okay, and see how many you can get done. That would be great.